You know, Paris, it's one of those cities we all feel like we know, right? But today, we're going to grab our map, in this case, the DK Eyewitness Guide, and go way beyond the usual stuff. We're going to decode the City of Light and figure out what really makes it tick. So on one hand, you've got the Paris you see on postcards, right? The grand boulevards, the Eiffel Tower, it's iconic. But then there's this other Paris, the one hiding just beneath the surface. You know, the city of those classic zinc rooftops, little hidden courtyards, and those quiet moments of real life happening way off the beaten path. And that's really our mission today. We're going to peel back all those layers, get past the famous sites, and ask a really big question. What is the true soul of this city? I mean, what really makes Paris, well, Paris? Okay, so where do we even start? Let's begin with the foundation of everything. It's history. And in Paris, the past isn't just something stuck in a textbook. No way. It's this living, breathing thing that you can literally feel on every single street corner. Think about it. The city's massive monuments, they're not just there for photos. They are basically history carved in stone, a testament to Paris's time as a global powerhouse. I mean, look at Notre Dame. Even after the fire, its incredible Gothic beauty is still this powerful symbol of the city's unbreakable spirit. And that kind of grandeur is all over the city. A place like the Opera Garnier, wow. It wasn't just built to be a building, it was a statement piece, you know? Designed with this jaw-dropping opulence to scream to the world about the power and cultural might of an empire. Okay, but Paris is so much more than just stone monuments, right? Once you look past the history, you find this living, breathing art form, and that's the art of Parisian living. This is where the city's real personality just shines through.
So, to really get Parisian life, there's this one French concept you absolutely have to know. It's the flaneur. And this word, it just perfectly captures a huge part of the city's soul. And trust me, it has nothing to do with rushing from point A to B.
It's all about the art of just wandering, you know, strolling along the Seine, ducking into some hidden alleyway with no real destination. The whole point is just to soak up the amazing show that is the city itself. It's about being right there, in the moment. And of course, we have to talk about the food. The whole Parisian experience is a total feast for the senses. Food there is not just fuel, it's this whole ritual. That daily trip to the local bakery, the boulanger, for that perfect, buttery croissant, that's not just running an errand. It's a beloved part of the day. And then there's the art. I mean, it is everywhere. You could literally get lost for days in the Louvre, surrounded by more than 30,000 of the world's most incredible masterpieces. But here's the thing about art in Paris. It's not just stuck inside museums. It's also exploding with color right on the streets. You go to neighborhoods like Belleville, and you'll find entire streets, like the famous Rue de Noise, that have become these incredible open-air art galleries. And they're always changing, totally capturing the modern heartbeat of the city. So all this variety brings us to a really important point. If you want to truly get Paris, you have to understand that it's not just one single place. It's more like a mosaic of all these different worlds, a patchwork of little villages, all stitched together into one city.
Yeah, the guide calls it a patchwork of neighborhoods. And honestly, that's the perfect way to put it. Each district, or arrondissement as they call them, has its own completely unique personality, its own story, its own vibe.
The city's broken down into all these different sightseeing areas, but what's so wild is that you can just cross one street and feel like you've stepped into a totally different town. I mean, you can go from the medieval core on the Ile de la Cité all the way out to the bohemian edges.
And get this, each neighborhood kind of has its own tribe. Take the Bobos, for instance. That's short for Bohemian Bourgeois, basically the hip creative crowd. It was them who pretty much transformed areas like Canal Saint-Martin from these quiet, overlooked spots into the cool hotspots they are now. You know, with all the picnics, cool little shops and cafes. And the difference between these villages can be huge. On one hand, you have the super fashionable Marais, you know, with its fancy old mansions and high-end boutiques. And then on the other, you've got this gritty, lively neighborhood like Belleville. It's so multicultural and gives you this completely different, more real-world look at everyday life in Paris.
Or, hey, you could head up the hill to Montmartre. And yeah, it gets crowded, but you can still wander down its cobblestone streets and find that amazing, quaint village vibe from the 19th century. It really does feel like you've stepped back in time.
All right, so we've talked about the history, that whole art of living, and this idea of a city made of villages. Which brings us right back to where we started. After all that, what is the soul of Paris? And here's the thing.
The answer is, it's not just one thing. The soul of Paris isn't hiding in one specific monument or something you can just go do. It's in the way all these different layers mix together. That beautiful dance between its epic history, its passion for living well, and the unique personalities of all its little villages.
At the end of the day, Paris is a city you have to feel, not just see. You know? It's something you experience, not something you just check off a list. You find its soul in a quiet moment in a perfect garden, or in that one perfect bite of cheese, or when you stumble upon a cobblestone street that feels like it's your own little secret.
So the guidebook can give you the map, sure, but the real discovery? That's all up to you. Which leaves just one question, really. What's your Paris story going to be?